Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to my power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, being great example to us younger brothers. Peace and blessings, roll for elect, Lord willing, we'll be a part of that number. I'm the brother Qadar from the Demons Baptist Chicago, coming back with another video. This video is going to be entitled, This Bug Out is Waxing Worse and Worse. Okay, this is a former member of GMS Chicago. You know, we call him Boy George now. You know, the nigga that's obsessed with Madonna. You know, who who said he wants to go back to the 80s. You know, when brothers who grew up with him. You know, basically put it out there like nigga was born in I believe 89 or 90. You know. His niggas bugged out, man. You know, for he used to go by the name of Mariala, you know, but the guy's no longer in the camp, obviously, you know. And I'm just gonna play this video, just going into the madness he's going into, man. You know, this dude is waxing worse and worse. So we're gonna play this video. Damn, they just towed this dude's car. That's tough. Running off on their ass, man. Damn, J. Cruel, man. But yeah, man, I'm gonna play this video and we're gonna get to the lesson.
What I want to talk about is Hebrews 10. The old way, the old law is not gonna save you, it's not gonna complete you. You know, you worrying about your garment and this and that. Did I do this? Did I do that? Look, man, the Lord even said it. You know, love thy neighbor as thyself and have no other power before the Most High. You do those two things, you complete, you won't fail. You do those two things, you should never fail. That's all you have to do in this life. That is the new walk, the new covenant, the new way. Just believing, and everything else will change. You believe in the Lord, you walk in that way, everything else will change. Love thy neighbor as thyself is a big thing. Tell people what you want to be told. Give them the right information. Help people, you know. And don't worship any of these false idols, whether that be man or some god you made. You know, it's not about, oh, I got to put this on. I used to be a top-ranking Pharisee, persecuting everybody, white, black, Hebrew, Greek, Jews, everybody. You know? Yeah, man, I was a top-ranking Pharisee. What were the failing Pharisees known for? Telling you to worship their elders, do this, do that. You know, commandments of men. You know, it's not the living way. It's not what's spoken of. You ain't supposed to walk the same way. Very simple. That name as myself have no other power before him. You know, and that's it. That's gonna take care of itself. You know, it's not about, oh, I'm going up. I gotta celebrate this Passover. I'm not gonna eat these. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna fucking destroy yourself thinking like that. How are you gonna do that? They couldn't do it then. And the Lord died to put that away. You know, and this time you just have to believe. You know, you're gonna see it every day regardless. You know, you just thought some dumb shit. That was a sin. You know, it's walking the walk. That's it. Just believe it. That's all you have to do, man. And that's hard for a lot of people. Believing is hard for people in this time. You know, but if you can believe, you can make it. You know, this is open to everyone. This ain't just a black thing. It's a whole world.
Yeah, this nigga's bugged out, man. Speaking of a bug out, fucking bug out, walking past the car, man. But you know, this dude, the Lord definitely isn't dealing with this guy, man. All right, let's read this 1 Timothy 4 and verse 1. It says, now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times, all right, it says that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. And this dude, he departed from the faith. You know, he wasn't diligent. Okay. The Lord took his spirit off him, man. He was cold. He wasn't hot for the Lord. All right, you go into that word for cold, you know, it goes into spiritually useless in another translation. This dude was spiritually useless, man. The spirit was taken off him. So now he believes in all this bugged out shit that he's talking about, man. Which he mentioned a lot of shit, but I was going to go into some specific things that he mentioned. All right, it says, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. All right, so the Lord definitely isn't dealing with this dude, you know. And that's the worst thing that ever happened to you, man, to come into this truth and end up falling out. That truly means the Lord hates you. You know? So Yahweh Shem Shai isn't dealing with this dude, man. All right, this is Matthew 12 and verse 43. It says, when an unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest, and findeth none. Then he saith, I will return into my house from whence I came out, and when he is come, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished. Then goeth he and taketh with himself 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, and that they enter in and dwell there. And that last day, if that man is worse than the first, even so shall it be also into this wicked generation. All right, so once you fall out this truth, man, all right, them evil spirits are throwing parties in your head. All right, they're like the elder brother Pop say, they're doing a Watusi in your head, man. All right, they throwing a Fifi in your head, man. You just start bugging out. You know, we all know about that bug out now dealing with Transformers, man. You know, and this dude is around the city. He's seen by brothers pretty often, you know, and he just continues to get worse and worse. Okay, he's like what we call it, what people call it now, an NPC, you know, a non-playable character, wears the same dark attire everywhere he goes, you know, just an NPC. You know, you know when you play a video game, man, you know, and there's a cutscene that was you're not supposed to skip, you know, and then when the cutscene's over, you know, the AI thing, they just walk away. You know, that's this guy, man. You know, he's an NPC, man. All right, so I wanted to get into this topic, you know, because he was talking about worshiping. He was talking about we worship the elders and whatnot, you know, in which we reverence the elders. Okay, that word reverence means deep respect. Okay, because they are our spiritual fathers. So I wanted to get into that. This Sirach 6 and verse 34. It says, "Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise." All right, so being near him. You know, it says, "Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. If thou seest if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him," or I mean it early, "and let thy foot wear the steps of his door." All right, right, because you're always coming up asking a question, you're always inquiring, picking their brain. Okay? And that's how you increase in knowledge. All right, you see these upright men, you trying to be like them. You know? So we say, mark the perfect man. Okay? They've had the experience. You know, so you reverence these men, you honor those men. Okay, so the shit that this nigga's talking about, he's full of shit, man. You know? Nigga smoking a fucking blunt, a fucking cigar, trying to read scriptures, trying to prove a point. Like, no, nigga, you know? And this dude is actually more diligent on Instagram than he was when he was in the camp. You know? You know? But he mentioned something right here. Let's see what he said.
Even it's hard for people in this time, you know. But if you can believe, you can make it. You know, this is open to everyone. This ain't just a black thing. It's a whole world.
So he says it's not just a black thing; it's a whole world thing. Hey, the Lord is only dealing with the Israelites, man. This ain't no fucking whole world thing. All right, Yahweh Shem Shai isn't dealing with the whole fucking world. Okay. This is This Psalms 147 and verse 19, it says, "He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgment unto Israel." Right, the Lord gave the Israelites the law, statutes, commandments. All right, when Moses came down, all right, with the stone tablet, all right, who did he give it to? He didn't give it to the fucking heathens. It was to the Israelites. It says, "He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord." Okay, so the Lord ain't dealing with these other nations, man. That's why they're called heathens, because they don't have the law. They just go about doing shit, man. All right, which is why they need to be put in captivity, because we brother see all those different videos of Elam doing some bullshit, Ishmael, Esau. Okay, They need to put in subjection, man. They were never given the law, statutes, commandments. Okay, it says, let's move on. This Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power. All right, holy means separate. All right, Kodash. All right, it says, the Lord thy power, all right, have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. All right, so the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, and the speckled birds who are Israelites, who look like these other nations, because it's not about skin color. Okay? You know, and it's definitely not a black thing. You know, because Israelites, hey, the scripture says, my heritage is like a speckled bird. Israelites come in all different shapes, sizes, and colors. Okay? That's why you must try the spirit. All right? You have to try the spirit, man. You know what Israelite when you talking to one, when you dealing with one. Okay? It says above all the people that are upon the face of the earth. Right? So the Israelites are above all people on the face of the earth, man. All right? So let me read this John 4 and 22. All right, it says, ye worship, ye know not what we know what we worship, for salvation is of the Israelites. Okay? Salvation is of the Israelites, man. So whatever the fuck this nigga's talking about it's for everybody, that's not true. All right, and we expect the nigga that bugged out to say some shit like that, because that's what a bug out was gonna say. Shit, that's off. You know, plain and simple. All right, and to end it off, I wanted to prove this point, which is so many lessons it's so many scriptures you can bring out on this subject. Okay, but I just wanted to bring out a few just to get straight to the point. It's James 1 and 1. James, a servant of Yahweh and of the Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. So this truth is for the Israelites. All right, this Bible is for the Israelites. All right, Yahweh Shai Shai is only dealing with the Israelites, man. Okay, and we were scattered. Okay, we were scattered back in the time of the Hellenistic era. All right, and hey, shit, we scattered now. Okay, that's why we try the spirit. Okay, so, you know, just wanted to attack this topic, man. You know, this dude is bugged out. The Lord's going to destroy him, man. And Lord willing, that's edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Shai B'Shem Kakodash. I want honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to all for elect. Lord willing to be a part of that number. Shalom, Kwame Sharala, Wa Babu Ball.